Ah, yes. Hello, puppy trades. Markets shaky as yield curve turns positive, stoking recession fears. Bitcoin trades near 58,000. Kitco news. Markets were buffeted by a second day of volatility as the September curse continued to roil investors with asset prices from stocks to crypto and gold struggling to generate positive momentum. Oh no. Equities collectively saw more than 1 trillion in value exit from the market on Tuesday, stoking fears of a recession and the often warned turnover in the stock market, which had roared back to life following the early August yen carry trade unwind inspired pullback. By the way, that bottom was on a new moon, first new moon of the first trading day of the week. We had a new moon on the most recent first trading day of the week. Another large VIX spike where the VIX is up 25, 35, 40%, but the S&P 500 is only down 2-ish%. Recession fears were amplified by the fact that the inversion between the U.S. 2 and 10-year Treasury yields turned positive for the first time in 2 years, a development that has historically indicated that a recession is likely in the near future. Ah, yes. Nvidia actually had some rumors about it. What's to say about Nvidia? Nvidia, however, regulators, according to Bloomberg, the U.S. Department of Justice has escalated its antitrust investigation into Nvidia and several other companies by issuing subpoenas, said analysts at Secure Digital Markets. Previously, the department had relied on non-binding questionnaires, but recent developments indicate a more aggressive approach to gathering information. Nvidia's stock reacted sharply to the news, plunging 9.5% by the close of trading on September 3rd to 108, and continued its decline by another 2% in after-hours trading, reaching 105. Regulators are reportedly concerned that Nvidia may be engaging in practices that hinder customers from transitioning to alternative chip manufacturers and AI service providers, as well as penalizing those who do not solely rely on its AI services. They noted, as part of its probe, the Department of Justice has also reached out to other tech giants, including Microsoft, one of Nvidia's largest shareholders, seeking additional insights. Nvidia, however, has firmly denied the allegations, the analyst said. In a statement provided to Bloomberg, the company emphasized that it competes based on merit with its superior test results and value proposition, offering customers the feedback to select the best solutions for their needs. Ah, yes. Another one of those times where we're getting trillion-dollar market cap moves, $200 billion market cap moves, and we're finding out it's a rumor. Anyway, I'm someone who draws trillion-dollar market cap moves all the time. I predicted that Nvidia was going to explode from here, and also that it was going to explode from here, and here, and here. And I predicted to the day it was going to begin a wave 4 correction here that would take it down to an ABC 38.2% correction here. So, I believe large wave 1 that begins at the 2018 low in a wave 2. This was a large wave 3, subdivided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. The reason I emphasize that big 3 is because we see wave 3 makes the highest high on the RSI before a shallow wave 4 and a wave 5 that ends with momentum divergence, allowing me to perfectly make the prediction that Nvidia was going to do what I said. So we're going to talk about Nvidia from this low. This wave 4, I believe, has been put in. So I don't want that to confuse anybody. I just want to show that was my original chart. Drawing this wave 4 to the 38.2% retracement with the ABC correction, bang. What we're going to do in this video is diagram what this blue wave 5 might end up looking like. Nvidia. I've been saying it's much harder to be a content creator than to retire from investing. I've certainly learned that. Before we get into Nvidia, this article mentioned the yield curve, and again, this was not something that has surprised my followers at all. I've talked about TLT ending wave 2. I'll delete these for a little bit. I've talked about TLT ending a wave 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves up, and an ABC correction wave 2, and then beginning a large wave 3 impulse, taking it all the way up to 105, 110, and then eventually if wave 3 ends and wave 4 retests the wave 1 high, wave 5 can be the length of wave 1, placed at the wave 4 low. That could take TLT all the way up to 118.88. So, the reason I bring that up is I actually have a whole video about how long-term yields were getting ready to crash. And those are kind of those quality yields, investment grade bonds. You know, the US government is getting less and less quality each day. But IGLB, I should do IGIB. This was another one. Long-term bonds. I said goodbye, high bond yields. Wow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 1, wave A, B, C, wave 2, wave B, at the 50 to 60% retracement. Another perfect call on the bond ETFs. And of course, they're all quite similar. This is going to 57.20 for wave 3, wave C. Wave 4 can retest the wave 1 high, and eventually we can see IGLB go up to 62. So this has been something all over my radar, and I've been investing in real estate, which we've seen benefit from this kind of realization that rate cuts are coming. It's just a matter of how much. IGIB, calling this a nest very prettily. Perfect. It doesn't really get any better than this. How am I able to do this with so many different sectors? I must be an expert in all of them fundamentally, and I just pretend to be doing Elliott wave and quantitative analysis. That must be the answer. Wave 1, ABC, wave 2, another wave 1, another ABC, wave 2. And now we break this high. We confirm we're incomplete to 54.73 to 55 before a shallow wave 4 and a wave 5 higher. We can see this is playing out very quickly. I don't even need to say what's going on because I've shown it. So we're going to look at Nvidia right now. We're going to talk about the cycle from this low. Remember, I've already perfectly predicted this huge wave 3, most of this huge wave 1, and each of these ABC corrections along the way, and then I perfectly called the top to the day. And I'm going to tell you guys, I used a little bit more than Elliott wave. And of course, I'm referring to occultism and a little more esoteric things. But I'm not going to do that in this video. We're going to try to diagram this wave 5 and see if we can hammer down some targets for Nvidia. Let's see if we can predict the future for this volatile stock. Look at that candle. Lovely. Perfect for jazz music. Yes. So we see right now 131.26 and 90.69. I mean, really, isn't it just kind of incredible? This wave 4 ends like literally a hair past the 38.2% correction for wave 4, which I forecasted. Anyway, now we've got rumors. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 1, wave A for Nvidia. And now an A, B, C correction. and we get this interesting little inverted hammer candle. I believe this is called a hanging man doji. I just call it an inverted hammer candle, or a dragonfly doji, when it makes this really long wick and it's got this tiny little hammer. This is 5 waves up, A, B, C, at the 61.8% retracement, exactly, almost, is where we close. Yeah, let's see, the close was 106.21. The 61.8% retracement is 106.19. So we closed 2 cents away from the 61.8% retracement. So this really clearly is going to be an important stock. This is honestly the most important chart in the market. Because like this article said, we are in the September scaries. Get the September scaries. Always have the September scaries. The March quad witching and the September quad witching, we historically see these large VIX spikes, which is something I've talked about for literally years, and why I've mentioned the importance of these new ETFs, CRSH and TSLP for Tesla, CONY in fiat for Coinbase, and I have a big deep in the money position on NVDY, where I've been collecting premiums on this ETF, huge premiums that have already paid for themselves twice over during this rally from NVDY. And so now I'm adding NVDY and I'm adding dips together. And right now I'm doing that 50-50, adding it to a position that was fully bullish. So my net delta is still bullish Nvidia. If we break below 90.69, I'm going to need to start changing that. Okay, if we break below 90.69, I'm going to say right now, and I'm not going to mince my words, that's a big invalidation. Big invalidation. Because the minimum expectation of that if that level goes, is that was wave A, this is wave B, and this is wave C. And it might be something uglier than that. That's not my bias. I believe wave 4 ended, and I believe from this low we're within a large wave 5. I am expecting a melt up, and the big invalidation is 90.69. I'll go ahead and say that too tight is 97.52. That wave too low. So from here it actually gets pretty simple. That's wave 1, wave A. This is wave 2, wave B. Bulls are going to look for wave 3, wave C. To go the length of wave 1, place at the wave 2 low. That gives a minimum target of 144.68. If I take the extensions, the length of wave 1 and wave A placed at the wave 2, wave B low, we're going to remember that the 100% extension, which is 144, is the minimum wave 3 target. We could actually see Nvidia go a little higher. We could see Nvidia go a little higher up to 156. 150, the mid 150s for wave 3 before a shallow wave 4, and I'm going to zoom back into the smaller degree time frame just to make sure it doesn't look too messy. So wave 3, wave C, that target is the mid 150s. I'm going to call it 155. And then there can be a shallow wave 4 before a wave 5 higher. If wave 4 retests the wave 1 high, And wave 5 is the length of wave 1, placed at the wave 4 low. We can see Nvidia begin a wave 5. And see that this whole sequence just kind of the classic shorthand way to find the all 5 waves target. We get about 171. So that would be kind of where it really gets dangerous for this blue wave 5. I'm looking for basically 170, unless wave 3 really goes high and wave 4 is really shallow. 170 is kind of that melt up range. The next target is about 144 to 155. I think 155 is just right before a shallow wave 4 and a wave 5 higher up into the 170. So I'm going to be positioning, and I'm going to keep adding neutral positions on NVDY and DIPS to an already large pre-existing position on NVDY that has already paid for itself twice in dividends. Let's look at another stock, Tesla. Before we get into Tesla, let's actually look at another semiconductor stock, United Microelectronics. We're going to see that UMC, this is a big, United Microelectronics is a foundry services for high performance semiconductor applications, and it is based in Taiwan. Look at these, 44 interest coverage ratio, 44 large profit margins, very low institutional and insider shareholders would be the biggest knock on that one fundamentally. We look at United Microelectronics. I've talked about how Nvidia isn't the only semiconductor stock. I've covered Marvel recently. 1, 2, big wave 3, highest high in the RSI, shallow wave 4, and a wave 5 higher. This was the original invalidation. .71, and I'm still looking for a wave 3 of a large wave 3 to begin. That could take it up to 11 before a shallow wave 4 and a wave 5 higher. That's within a rather small degree. And I'm not going to spend too much time on UMC. I wanted to give some, maybe some supporting evidence for Nvidia. I did see UMC on one of my buy the blood screens. So we'll get into some stocks that were on the buy the blood screen today. United Microelectronics was one of them. We look at UMC, a large wave 1, subdivided into 5 waves. Wave 2 ends with an ABC correction at the 61.8% retracement. The wave 3 minimum target is 16.47. No reason to go higher than that in this video. Tesla. We're going to look at Tesla. 1, 2, wave 3, wave 4, and wave 5. Very similar. I had a position in Tesla and TSLP. TSLP was lightly in the money with all the dividends collected. My shares of Tesla were pretty substantially in the money, and I sold them. I had TSLY as just a Tesla long. Now what I'm doing, and I've done pretty aggressively, I've added lots of delta neutral positions with CRSH and TSLP from Curve, not Yield Max, blended together, and I still own TSLY. So just like Nvidia, my Tesla position is still net bullish. I'm adding delta neutral positions to a pre-existing bullish position. But it's important to understand, like Nvidia, if things are going ugly, it's very easy for me to just start changing that ratio from delta neutral to bearish. And that's something that I think a lot of people are going to understand soon, is that even with these ETFs, adding TSLP to CRSH could be the best way to play the bull side, with a 65-70% ratio of TSLP, and then the hedge is CRSH, or even for the bears. You know, that's probably a much more efficient way to short Tesla. 65% CRSH paired with 35% TSLP. Right now I'm adding delta neutral to a pre-existing bull position, so I'm still net long Tesla, collecting an extraordinary amount of option premium. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves. Wave 1, ABC wave 2. Nice outperformance from Tesla. Not really any news. What's going on here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave 1, ABC wave 2 at the 100 to 127.2% extension of the length of wave A placed at the wave B high was where wave C ended. That was the original invalidation. And from this low, I believe Tesla's formed wave 1, wave 2. I'm looking for it to be within a wave 3 of wave 3 before a shallow wave 4 and a wave 5 higher. Within this sequence, the wave 3 target is about 350 in black. The wave 4 target is going to lightly try to retest this wave 1 high. It might not get all the way there because it's a small degree. And then if wave 5 is the length of wave 1 placed at the wave 4 low, Tesla can go all the way up to 419.8. Heck, it's Elon Musk. Tesla can go all the way up to 420 above 182. Here is Hive Mind blockchain. Let's do a music check. I'm trying to stay within 23 minutes. Oh, perfect. Look at that. I'm so good. I'm a numbers guy, baby. Hive Mind blockchain. We're going to look at this one. Now, I know this is a little woo-woo. Let's look at this unusual options volume screen today. I know. Put on your tinfoil hat, pups. Put on your tinfoil hats. I know. Oh, man. You're reaching for that button. I can feel it. Unusual options volume. Bullish screen. We're going to see... Well, we did see Hive Mind blockchain on the screen. Am I not seeing it right now? Exelon Corp was on it, and Finger Motion was on it. That's why those stocks are going to be in this video. I swear I saw Hive Mind blockchain on the screen. Did they end up hedging? Did those wussies end up hedging? Come on now. What was going on here? I remember I saw a pretty big reading that was unusual for Hive. Yeah, I think it was these right here. Nope. 800. A wise guy bought 894 calls for the 10 strike. That guy needs to call the number. Yes, 2,600. These are way out of the money. The 10 strike leaps. It looks like someone bought about 2,600 plus 894 contracts. Add that together. Expecting Hive Mind blockchain to go to $10. So where I was going with the tinfoil hat thing is that I thought it was on the unusual options volume screen. Those fancy schmancies must have ended up, you know, being less wise and deciding to hedge. But the company is called Hive Mind blockchain, right? There's a very famous woman whose fans call themselves the Bay Hive, and her birthday was today. Anyway, we like to have fun. Let's look at Hive Mind blockchain. I think this is a wave 1. Wave 1, A, B, C, wave 2. Wave 3, wave 4, and a wave 5 that ends with momentum divergence on the RSI. A, Beyonce, C, ends a large wave 2 correction. And then from this low, I believe this is another wave 1 and another wave 2, beginning the subdivision of this large wave 3. From this low, wave 1, wave 2. Look at that, another inverted doji, inverted hammer candle on Hive. Wave 3 is going to look something like this if it really gets going. Pow! All the way up to 4.50. Can you believe it? Maybe 4.20 in honor of Elon. Before shallow wave 4. This time I'm not going to have wave 4 go all the way down because we can see this is a really high beta stock. I'm actually going to measure the retracements and get that 38.2% fib. That's going to be the 61.8 backwards, which I can just see with my own eyes. It could look something like this for this large wave 3. Wave 4 retest the wave 1 high. Wave 5 is the length of wave 1, placed at the wave 4 low. I can see Hive going up to 5.35 within this wave 3 before a shallow wave 4 and a wave 5 higher. We'll see if that happens, if we can see a black wave 4 and a wave 5. Maybe, just maybe, this gambler is going to get his dreams to be fulfilled. 6.92 is that sequence. I don't think he's going to get it. I've got 6.92 for that wave 5. I think he needs to call the number. Sorry. Let's look at Home Depot. Starting to turn. Oh, look at that. Starting to turn around here. Perfect. One, two, wave 3, highest high in the RSI, shallow wave 4, wave 5, clearly subdivided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves, ends with momentum divergence. A, B, C correction between the 61.8 to 50% fib. 1, 2, 1, 2. Yes, 1, 2. Wave 3 of wave 3 in progress. I'm not going to draw the other wave 3. I'm not even going to change. That was the tight stop loss. That was the original tight stop loss. We got a beautiful reaction, and we had a beautiful leading indicator for Home Depot. All those home builders, and this is really the entire real estate sector. But I perfectly predicted XHB, KBH Home Builders, that's the one. I perfectly drew this. Oh lordy, look at this. This makes people mad that I can just go 1, 2, 3 like this, but you know, all these gurus on FinTwit, this is a completely untouched chart of XHB. They just get bored, random weeks. It's a slow news day. What do they start doing? They just start talking about the next housing crisis, something ridiculous like that. This was a huge leading indicator for Home Depot. I believe it's a huge leading indicator for real estate. And really, this stock itself, Polta Group, Polta Group Home Builders, you can look that one up. This was above this high when the whole ETF was like still here. This whole ETF had a beautiful leading indicator. I pointed it out with KBH, you know, technical analysis. You know, people say they care about it. Do they really? We're only going to do 2 more stocks for the sake of time. Exelon Corp was on this unusual options volume screen. Yes, we got finger motion, 140% unusual options volume. Exelon Corp, 382% unusual options volume. Let's see what they bought. Oh, yeah, look at that. 4,453 calls at the money for the 39 strike. And then again, 4,373 for the 41 strike for 117.25. Wow. That's a lot of gamma. And I've been documenting Exelon Corp's unusual options volume activity. You're going to see this is my untouched chart of Exelon. It looked lovely. We held above the 161.8% extension of the length of wave A, place of the wave B high. I said 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, wave 1, wave A, ABC, wave 2, wave B. And this is something where we've got the utility sector on a runaway train. The utility sector is on a runaway train, and so is real estate. So whenever I see a utility stock, you know, especially a good one, or I see a real estate stock and it's still down here, I'm looking. This is the runaway train, and it's never gonna go back. These yields are gone. They're gone. These yields are gone. Do you not get that? You really think all these high quality bonds, all these look at what's going on in real estate. Runaway train, baby, never look back. I don't know the rest of the words, but I know the Bears are whack. Exelon Corp. They're buying a lot of options on it. It's the same whale. You can go look at my most recent work on EXC. I think it's within a large wave 3, wave C, up into the 60s. And that's for wave 3, wave C. This is a utilities giant. So, do what thou wilt with that one, in the words of Beyonce's husband, Jay-Z. See, I'm topical. Anyway. Let's look at finger motion. What is this stock? They're buying unusual options on it. You know, they say the tail wags the dog. I think this unusual options volume is like the finger giving the motion to the dog. I don't know. I thought that was going to work. It didn't. The tail wags the dog, so the options market is saying, come here. Nah, that's almost kind of creepy. Anyway, yeah, it didn't take much to trigger this reading, and it wasn't that unusual, but they're buying some leaps. This looks like a gambling buffoon, but, you know, some people like to gamble. I think the fundamentals of the stock are very interesting, especially with this corollary evidence with Shopify and PayPal. I've covered Shopify and PayPal a lot recently. Finger Motion is an evolving technology company. It provides mobile payment and recharge platform solutions, principally in China. So we got Chinese tech in here. I've talked about QFin as a very high correlate of this stock, particularly. This is one of the shining beacons in China. Not the exact same chart. Finger Motion. You know, it's not about the fingers, it's about the motion. Anyway. Beautiful chart. This is one that's just fun to chart, honestly. It's glorious. This one's for Wave School. Lovely, lovely. You know, see how this is art? And people want to not do the woo-woo. Go look at some art analysis of Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci. You'll find they're doing tons of science and tons of geometry, kind of like Elliott wave. Sorry, that's not where wave begins. That probably freaked some of y'all out. Pup lost his mind? Yeah. There's also so much of the esoteric going on in Da Vinci and Leonardo's. In their work. They say that one painting where he's reaching out to God, the cloud that God, the man's finger is touching God's finger, like finger motion. I didn't even mean to plan that. Whoa, that's crazy. Whoa, that's crazy. I didn't even mean to plan that. My subconscious knew where I was going. Talking about Leonardo da Vinci and that finger painting where the man is reaching out his finger to God. Leonardo da Vinci actually has God in a cloud that is shaped like a brain and actually has kind of a similar color, more of a similar color to a brain than it does a cloud. So the message is what some Christians are going to be a little nervous hearing, and this was just his interpretation, was that God was coming from within us. He was essentially taking the form of our subconscious. And many of the esoteric believe that escaping duality is really the true message of the Bible. How to escape the duality of sin. Escaping good and evil. Because when we're stuck in the construct of good and evil, we're slaves to time, right? Satan, Saturn, who emits the sine wave frequency. But when we escape duality, we do that by combining the subconscious with our kind of active conscience. So that's why he's reaching out to God, and God's in the cloud of a brain that's shaped like a brain. And when his finger gets ever so close to touching God's finger, I believe the man in the painting is escaping duality. When you combine the subconscious with the conscience, you become one. This is their obsession with 201. You have your conscience and your subconscious, you got two. You erase your ego, you have nothing, and then they dissolve together. The phoenix rises from the ashes, and out of two we have nothing, and then we have one. Two towers fall, we have nothing, now we have one tower, the Freedom Tower. 201. We're going to destroy this two-party system. We're going to have nothing, and then finger motion is going to hold above 1.63. We're going to see the conscience is united with the subconscious. And notice that in that painting, Leonardo da Vinci is laying down. The man in the painting, he's laying down like he's asleep. So we escape duality by combining the subconscious with the conscience. Our awakened state, when we're conscious, with our dream state, which is ruled by our subconscious. We go into REM sleep, and our subconscious takes over, and it floods our brain with this dimethyltryptamine that is the active ingredient in our brains while we're going through REM sleep. That's why we have these vivid dreams. So the wise man is going to wake up one day. He's going to combine the conscience with the subconscious. Two is going to become nothing. Nothing out of nothing is going to become one. Because he's going to realize his dreams and his reality are the same thing. He's never really asleep. Not because he's a narcoleptic, but because he's getting amazing sleep. and his dreams, like how Joseph is interpreting the dreams, and then he's telling how they actually reflect reality. That's how we become godlike, essentially. And if finger motion is above 1.63, yeah, I think it go up to 12.